They came without warning. No lights in the sky, no booming ships, no sign of anything unnatural. Just silence. The kind that hums in your bones and makes your skin crawl. By the time anyone realized what was happening, it was too late. It started small. A child missing from a remote village in Bolivia, then 2 from a foster home in South Africa, a dozen from the refugee camps outside Istanbul. Different countries, different lives, no patterns, no footprints, no leads, just gone. The world didn't panic at first. It never does. We've seen horrors, and we always think we can handle more. But then the disappearances began to multiply. Hundreds in 1 week, thousands by the next. No notes, no demands, just missing children, ages 5 to 12, all vanishing without a trace. The media went insane. Governments pointed fingers. Conspiracy theories flooded the net. Some blamed traffickers, others blamed experimental government labs. A few said aliens, and everyone laughed. Until they saw it July 19, 2083. The day Earth learned we were not alone and not in control. A station appeared above the moon, massive, shaped like a twisted spine with metal ribs. It didn't move. It didn't respond. But it made itself seen. Every screen, phone, watch and drone lit up with a message written in 157 languages. We have harvested your young. They are safe. They will become more than you. Then it vanished from every screen as if it had never spoken. But we all saw it. Every person on Earth, every mother, every father, every child who understood what it meant, and every soldier who knew what it was. They didn't ask for a war. They just started one. We tried sending drones to the moon. None returned. We fired missiles. They never hit. Whatever was up there was far beyond anything we had. Not just more advanced, something else. Something that looked at us the way we look at ants. The governments gave up. The UN formed diplomatic task forces. Tech billionaires held press conferences offering to negotiate. But those of us who lost children, we didn't wait. We built our own rebellion. They called us terrorists. The Children's Vengeance Front, the CVF, we called ourselves parents, brothers, sisters, humans, people who knew that justice wouldn't come from laws or peace talks. It would come from fire. I wasn't always a killer. My name's Evander Cross. Used to be an agriculture scientist. Worked on vertical farms in Chicago. Had a daughter named Lila. She loved strawberries and hated shoes. She was 6 when she disappeared. The cops told me to stay calm. The politicians told me to hope, but that message on the screen burned into my skull. So I joined the first cell of the CVF. We trained in the forests of Oregon, old school guns, knives, detonators. Then we made contact with ex-military groups in Russia, engineers from Japan, tech scavs from Nigeria. Soon we weren't alone. Across the globe, thousands joined. It took 4 years to get our hands on something that could reach them. We found a ship, or what was left of one, buried in the ice of Antarctica. Not alien, not exactly. A prototype from a now-defunct private space company that went bankrupt during the resource wars. We rebuilt it from scratch, adding pieces of stolen tech, black market weapons, and a homemade AI named Juno, built by a 13-year-old girl whose brother had been taken. She named the ship Retribution. Fitting, only 7 of us were chosen to go. The rest stayed behind to fight the collaborators and traitors who were too eager to bow. We weren't astronauts. We weren't heroes! We were parents with nothing left to lose. The launch wasn't elegant. We lost 2 engines halfway up and had to slingshot around the atmosphere just to make orbit. But when we finally broke free of Earth's gravity, we saw it. The station, still floating above the moon, still quiet, still watching. Juno beeped in my ear, her voice crisp and cold. Target acquired. Life forms detected, human, altered, prepare for breach. Altered. That word hung in the air. Were our children still in there? Alive? Changed? I gripped my rifle. My heart felt like it had been dipped in acid. They took our children, I whispered to no one. Let's take their whole damn planet. We didn't expect the silence. As the Retribution floated closer to the alien station, we thought alarms would blare, shields would rise, ships would launch. But nothing moved. No lights, no sound. It just hung there, massive and lifeless. Like a god's abandoned throne, Juno scanned it again. Structure is active. No external defense systems detected. Energy readings unfathomably high, she paused. That pause always meant something bad. Organic activity inside. 412 confirmed human biosignatures. Multiple altered. Altered, that word again. It made my stomach turn. We docked on the port side, if you could call it that. The connection bay looked more like bone than metal. White, curved ribs around a black pit. We didn't care. We were ready to walk into hell if it meant one of those biosigns was our kid. I looked at the team. Only 6 of us now. Rafa, ex-Marine from Brazil. Lost twin daughters. Calm, precise, deadly Naomi, former astrophysicist from Kenya. Her nephew vanished while walking to school. She built half the tech in our gear. Jin, a quiet hacker from South Korea. His little sister was taken during a blackout. He hadn't spoken a word since. Alexei, a Russian defector and demolitions expert. His rage burned hotter than the sun. Mira, the kid who built Juno. Her brother was just 10. She looked too small to be on this mission, but we learned quick not to underestimate her and me, Evander. Nothing special. Just a broken father holding onto a rifle and a prayer. As we breached the airlock, we weren't met by guards. No aliens, no security drones, just silence and warmth. Not the mechanical warmth of a ship, but something more alive. The walls pulsed softly, like breathing. Rafa stepped forward first. "Feels like we're walking into a mouth," he muttered. He wasn't wrong. The corridors curved and coiled like intestines, slick with a thin layer of shimmering moisture. Mira held out a scanner. It didn't respond. "Nothing in here's made of metal," she whispered. "It's all bioengineered. Organic tech." We walked slowly, rifles up, nerves shot. Then we heard it, faint at first, like singing. Children singing. Naomi froze. "That song..." Her voice cracked. "That's Jambo Bwana. My nephew sang that every morning." We ran down the spiraling corridor, around flesh-like pillars, past strange floating lights that pulsed red when we moved. The song grew louder, clearer. Children's voices. Dozens of them, joyful, innocent, like they were playing, and then we found them. A chamber opened before us, huge, like a cathedral built from muscle and bone. In the center, hovering midair inside translucent pods, were children. So many. Some floated peacefully, eyes closed. Others were awake, eyes glowing faint blue, their skin laced with strange patterns, veins of light. They looked at us, but not like children. More like observers. Like they knew something we didn't. "Lila," I whispered. There she was, floating like an angel, a peaceful smile on her face. Her hair was longer. She looked older than 6. But I knew her. I felt her. That was my daughter. I dropped my rifle. Then something moved behind the children. A shape, tall and thin, stepped forward. No face, just a head covered in moving lines of light. Its voice wasn't a voice, it was in our heads. "You should not have come," Alexei aimed his weapon. "Give them back now." The being tilted its head. "They are not yours anymore. They are becoming. Humanity has been chosen for ascension. Your emotions, your pain, your violence, it is what we needed. You gifted it freely," Mira shouted, her voice trembling. "They're just kids." "Not your lab rats. They are the next phase of your kind. Pure potential. We cultivated them from your chaos." I stepped forward, fists clenched. "You stole them. You didn't ask. You didn't explain. You tore them from us in the dark," the being replied calmly. "Would you have given them willingly?" Rafa raised his gun. "Doesn't matter. You're not walking away with them. We are not walking. We are already everywhere." And then the walls pulsed red, pods began to lower, lights dimmed. The children's eyes glowed brighter, and Lila finally looked at me. "Not through me. At me, Daddy," she said, her voice confused. "Why are you scared?" I choked on my breath. "Because I came to save you." She tilted her head. "From what?" The air shifted, thickened, like we were standing at the bottom of the ocean. My daughter floated just a few feet from me, her voice still ringing in my ears. "From what?" she had asked. I opened my mouth to speak, but nothing came out. "What do you tell a child who's been taken, altered, and somehow isn't afraid?" Behind us, Mira's scanner finally sparked back to life. She stared at the display, horrified. "These kids, they're wired into this station. Neural sync. It's not just controlling them, it's powered by them." Alexei stepped toward one of the pods, raising a hand grenade. "Then we kill the core. Wake 'em up." "Don't," I snapped. "That's my kid." He didn't lower the grenade. The being floated closer, but it never walked. It glided like gravity didn't apply. That same eerie voice pushed into our minds. You misunderstand. This is not imprisonment. This is preparation. The transition is incomplete. If you sever it now, they die. Naomi cursed under her breath. Convenient. We pull the plug and suddenly they die. How do we even know you're not lying? Because they will tell you. And then the pods opened. Hissing like lungs exhaling, one by one the containers cracked and pulled apart, releasing the children. They didn't fall, they floated, arms out, suspended in blue light. And they started talking, all at once. A chorus of soft voices overlapping. We're not hurt. We're learning. We see everything. They made us better. Don't stop it, Daddy. Please. Lila's voice rose above the rest. They showed us what's out there. Not just stars and planets, things, beautiful and terrible things. And we're the only ones who can survive them now. My knees buckled. I reached for her. They brainwashed you. She shook her head slowly. No, Daddy, they woke us up. Rafa couldn't take it. He stepped forward, grabbing his daughter by the arm. She didn't resist, but the second he touched her, his skin sizzled. He screamed, staggering back, his hand charred and smoking. Juno's voice cut in. Warning, neurological energy fields active. Children are now emitting destabilizing force. I turned back to Lila. Come home with me. We'll fix this. I don't care what they did, we'll undo it. Tears formed in her glowing eyes. I am home. This is part of me now, the alien being drifted behind her. You came for vengeance. But vengeance is small. Your children are not prisoners, they are bridges. Between what you were and what comes next, Alexei snapped. Enough. He threw the grenade. It didn't explode. The air swallowed it mid-flight. The walls pulsed red again, and then came the scream. Not from any of us, from the station itself. A deep, roaring sound that vibrated in our bones, like the rage of something ancient waking up. The children clutched their heads, crying out. Mira screamed, "You're hurting them!" Stop! I aimed my rifle at the alien. Turn it off! But it didn't answer. It just looked at me and smiled, not with lips, but with light curling around its face. You've awakened the cradle, and the floor beneath us collapsed. We fell, not down, but through. A blur of colors, stars, darkness, and blinding white. I couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. Just the sound of Lila's voice in my ears, whispering, "They're coming now. The real ones. And we're the only hope." We slammed into another chamber, this one darker, deeper. The walls here weren't organic. They were black stone, etched with symbols I didn't understand. Something ancient, pre-alien. Jin groaned, coughing up blood. Mira clung to her scanner, which now blinked violently. "What is this place?" I asked. She shook her head. "Not part of the station. This is below it, like a vault. A prison or..." Naomi finished the sentence. A tomb. In the center of the chamber stood a monolith, humming with dark energy. Around it more pods, these not with children but with creatures. Twisted, half-formed, shriveled things with eyes that still moved. Rafa raised his rifle. "What the hell are those?" Juno answered with a tone I'd never heard from her before. Fear. Failed ascensions, proto-hybrids, they didn't survive the transition. I looked around, heart pounding. "Then why are we here?" Lila floated to my side, her small hand reaching out. "To finish what they started. To stop what's buried here. From waking up again." And behind the monolith, something stirred. The chamber began to tremble, low at first, like distant thunder in the bones of the station. Dust fell from the black stone walls as the strange hum from the monolith deepened, changing pitch with every breath we took. Lila clutched my hand, her grip colder than it should have been. Her voice was calm, but her glowing eyes flicked nervously toward the monolith. "It's waking up faster than it should. You sped it up, Daddy, when you brought your rage, and what is it?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. The alien being still hovering silently above us finally spoke. "A failed god. A remnant of the first cycle. It cannot be killed, only contained." Jin, still silent as ever, pointed to the wall, where unfamiliar symbols glowed faintly. Mira ran over, scanning them, her hands shaking. "These aren't alien. Not the kind that took the kids. This predates them." Older language, like a blueprint. "Or a warning." Alexei stared at the monolith. "So we just stumbled into an ancient prison?" "No," Naomi muttered. "We fell into Earth's insurance policy. This place wasn't meant to protect the station. It was meant to protect the universe from the station. We all turned to her. "Think about it," she said, eyes wide. The kids altered, elevated. This station wasn't making them better out of kindness. It was building weapons, preparing a generation of humans who could face whatever this thing is. I looked at Lila, whose face twisted with something close to fear. "Is that true?" I asked her. She nodded, slowly. "The ones who took us, they didn't come here by accident. They were fleeing it, hiding from what they unleashed long ago. We were supposed to be their salvation." Alexei shook his head. "So we're just foot soldiers in some ancient war? You think I care about their problems? They took our kids." Juno's voice crackled back into the room. "Entity in the monolith is reaching surface awareness. You must make a choice. Release it, contain it, or destroy the station. What happens if it's released?" Rafa asked grimly. "Planetary-level extinction probability, 99.8%. Survival of any species, unlikely." A silence fell, the kind that tastes like steel and blood. Naomi looked at me. "If we destroy the station, we kill the kids. You know that, right?" I nodded, my throat burned. The idea of it, Lila right in front of me, alive, changed, but still her, and if we didn't? Alexei moved toward the monolith. "Then we do the unthinkable. We finish the job. Put the thing down no matter what it takes." Mira's voice cracked, suddenly fragile. "My brother's one of them. He's part of the station now. If we overload the core, they die. But if we let it out, it won't just be our families who die," Naomi interrupted. "It'll be everyone. Earth, Mars, the colonies. All of it." Rafa paced, fists clenched. "We didn't come here to choose which kind of hell to burn in." Lila suddenly stepped forward. Her eyes glowed brighter, and she stood taller, less like a child and more like something else. "I can hold it back," she said. "I can connect with the others. We are the station now. If we merge our minds, maybe we can lock it away again." "No," I said, stepping forward. "You don't understand what that'll do to you." She looked at me with tears glowing down her cheeks. "Yes, I do. And I'd rather fade knowing I saved you than survive while it destroys everything you ever loved." The alien nodded, slow and solemn. "The child understands sacrifice, do you?" That question stabbed me like a knife in the ribs, and then the monolith cracked. A blinding light burst from its core, and a voice, no, not a voice, a scream ripped through our skulls. It didn't speak words, only raw hatred, hunger, age. It felt like we were insects being stared at by a cosmic beast. The alien being began to dissolve, literally. Its body broke into strings of light and dust, whispering into the walls. Juno screamed, "Containment breach in 30 seconds. Choose now." Lila turned to me, floating backward. "Tell Mom I was brave." I reached out. "Lila, don't, please!" But she was already fading. Her body shimmered as more children appeared around her, forming a ring of blue light. Then they sang, not words, just tones, pure sound, harmony unlike anything human. And the monolith began to shake violently, cracks spreading like lightning. Juno's voice. "Containment stabilizing. Partial lockdown initiated. Energy signature suppressed." Rafa fell to his knees. Mira was sobbing. Alexei stood still, unmoving. And Lila was gone, so were all the children. The monolith pulsed once, and then silence, just silence. We didn't speak for a long time. The chamber sat still, dead quiet, like the aftermath of a funeral that no one wanted to attend. The monolith had gone dark again, its surface fractured like cooling lava. Whatever lived inside it, it was asleep, buried, caged again, but the price. Lila, Mira's brother, Naomi's nephew, Rafa's twins. All the children, gone, not dead but no longer flesh, no longer something we could hold or protect. Their consciousness, their souls, whatever they had become, it was now part of this cursed station, fused into the architecture of an alien machine, meant to contain something far worse than them. I tried to stand, but my knees gave out. My rifle clattered to the floor, useless now. My hand trembled. The memory of Lila's fingers slipping from mine burned into my bones. Rafa finally broke the silence. "So what now?" Juno answered. "Containment is stable. Life form activity has ceased. Energy emissions are within acceptable thresholds. The station is dormant." Mira wiped her face, red-eyed and raw. "We can't just leave them here." Alexei stood, hands shaking, not with fear but with restraint. "She was right. Your girl. This whole place, it was never meant for us. It was never even meant for them." They hijacked our children to fix their mistake. Naomi spat on the floor. Cowards. They couldn't face what they unleashed, so they ran. Let our kids do the dying for them. No one replied. We all knew she was right. I stepped forward slowly toward the monolith. Not too close, I'd seen what came out of it, but close enough to feel the strange cold radiating from it. My voice cracked as I asked, Juno, is there any way to bring them back? A pause, then negative. Consciousness has been fully integrated. Separation would result in catastrophic collapse of containment system. Estimated failure probability 100%. It was like she punched me in the gut with numbers. Then we're leaving, Alexei said, heading for the exit tunnel. And we're not just leaving. We're going to make sure no one ever comes back. He stopped and turned, locking eyes with me. We torch this place. Burn it into the void. Mira shook her head. No. If it breaks free again and there's no one here, Rafa stepped in. Then we leave a warning. A real one. Something humans will listen to. We make it so terrifying they won't even breathe near the moon. Naomi added, we've got the station's comms. We can broadcast everything. Video, scans, messages. We let the world see what this place is. Let it cost us our children. That coming here again could end everything. I looked around at the dark walls, feeling her, Lila, somewhere in there, watching, guarding, saving us from something worse than nightmares. I nodded. We leave the truth behind. We warn them, and then we make sure no one ever walks through these halls again. It took us 3 days to reprogram the station's transmission systems. We patched in human languages, overrode the alien interface, and let Juno splice together what she could. We showed the children, the monolith, the choice we were forced to make. We sent it to every satellite, every outpost, every moon base and research lab in the solar system. Then we set the failsafe, Alexei, rigged the station's outer shell with enough explosives to flatten a small moon, just enough to collapse the docking bays and main corridors, but not enough to shatter the core. The containment chamber had to stay intact. Before we left, Mira placed something near the monolith, a toy spaceship. Her brother's favorite. She didn't say a word, just walked away, and me. I stood before the dark stone and whispered one last thing. I'm sorry, Lila, but I'm proud of you. She didn't answer. But the walls, they hummed just once, like a breath, like a heartbeat, like a father's hand held in return. We boarded the Retribution, bruised, hollow, not victorious, not really, but finished. Juno asked one last question before launch. Destination? Alexei said Earth. Rafa said home, Naomi whispered. If there's still one left after they see what we've done. I stared at the stars outside the viewport. Cold, endless, watching us like gods we didn't believe in anymore. Take us to the people, I said. They need to know what the universe really is, what it takes, what it costs, and what happens when they take our children. We re-entered Earth's orbit in silence. No victory fanfare, no triumphant return. Just a trail of encrypted broadcasts echoing across the solar system, each one carrying the same message. Do not go to the moon. Do not seek the children. Do not answer the hum. But Earth didn't listen. They never do. Juno's systems caught the chatter the moment we crossed into atmosphere. Satellites locked onto our ship. Military frequencies pinged us. News feeds screamed about terrorists returning from space, rogue agents endangering humanity, and worse, hoaxers spreading false propaganda about alien threats. The world we left behind wasn't the one we came home to. The fear we thought we'd stopped, it was already festering. Governments had seen our warnings and buried them. Edited versions of our footage were circulating online. Some labeled the monolith ancient alien tech humanity must claim. Others called it fake, blaming CGI and deepfakes. A few believed us, but not nearly enough. Alexei slammed his fist against the control panel. They're going to try again. Of course they are, Rafa muttered. The bastard saw a station that eats kids and thought, let's weaponize it. Naomi was scanning transmissions, face pale. They've already sent probes. 2 AI drones entered lunar orbit yesterday. They're sniffing around for tech scraps. They're looking for the station. Mira sat with her knees pulled to her chest, silent. She hadn't spoken since we left the monolith. Her eyes were hollow. She looked like someone who had seen God, and wished she hadn't. We should have blown the whole damn thing to ash, Alexei growled. No, I said quietly. If we had, it would have woken up. And then none of this would matter. He stared at me, jaw clenched. So what now, scientist? We just watch them poke a demon. No, I said again, firmer this time. We stop them. We landed in a forest outside Alaska, off-grid, cold and distant. Juno cloaked the ship, hidden beneath the icy canopy. We didn't trust any of the major cities. Too many cameras. Too many people who'd sell us out for a paycheck or a lie about patriotism. Within 2 days, we had our first visitor. Not a government agent, not a military unit. Just a girl, maybe 13, skinny, nervous, and holding a tablet that glowed with our footage, the real footage. She looked at us like ghosts. My brother was one of them, she whispered. You saw him, didn't you? Mira nodded, her voice barely audible. They were beautiful. The girl set the tablet down. I believe you, and so do others. That's how it started, a quiet resistance. Not with guns this time, but truth. Real footage. Raw audio. Unfiltered screams. We leaked it all through underground nets and pirate frequencies. We showed the world what really happened, and more importantly, what almost did. Some believed. Some panicked. Most ignored it, but a few listened. They came from everywhere. Grieving families, ex-scientists, rogue AI developers, kids with no future, people who had nothing but rage and memory. We called them the lineage. The children we lost had given everything to seal that vault, and we would become the living shield to keep it sealed. Months passed. Then a year. The station remained silent. No pulses, no signals. But humanity kept pushing. Moon missions doubled. Mining expeditions increased. The corporations wanted tech. The governments wanted weapons. Everyone wanted a piece of what nearly killed us. They hadn't learned a damn thing, so we changed tactics. We began sabotaging launches, jamming signals, taking out orbital drones with hacked satellites. We weren't terrorists. We were janitors of the apocalypse, cleaning up the mess before anyone tracked blood back to their doorstep. One day, Mira asked me, "Do you ever wonder if they're still in there? The kids?" I looked up at the moon, bright and cold above us. "I don't wonder," I said. "I know, I feel her. Every night. Like she's watching me sleep. Like she's humming in my dreams." Mira nodded. "I hear him too." We didn't cry. We didn't break. We just stood there like statues, two humans staring at a rock that almost ended everything. Juno pinged our comms a week later. Incoming feed. Unauthorized lunar excavation detected. Coordinates, containment perimeter. They'd found it, they were digging. I looked at the others. Alexei, Naomi, Rafa, Mira. We all knew what it meant. No more broadcasts, no more warnings, it was time to go back. Not because we were afraid. Fear had been left behind with our children's laughter and the lives we used to live. What we carried now wasn't fear, it was resolve. Sharp, cold, final. The retribution cut through Earth's upper atmosphere like a blade, shrouded in black code and cloaking static. Juno had upgraded herself during the months we were grounded. She knew what was coming. Everyone did. The coordinates she fed us were exact. Lunar excavation site 17A, breach proximity 300 meters. Defense presence 45 armed security units, 2 transport vessels, 0 ethical oversight. Translation, they'd cracked the station, they just didn't know what they had stepped into. From orbit, we saw the site. Massive floodlights glared from metallic towers. Cargo cranes lined the edges. Lunar dust rose like smoke around diggers tearing through. What used to be sacred ground, and in the center, our worst nightmare, they had opened the outer layer. We could see the station's ribs, white and curved, biological and ancient, protruding from the crater like the remains of a buried god. Shiny UN flags waved above it, as if ownership could be claimed with fabric and hubris. They found it, Naomi muttered, and they're celebrating. Mira was at the weapons terminal. Her hands were shaking, but her voice was steady. "Permission to shut their party down." Alexei smirked. "Light the candles, kid." We dropped in fast and hard, no warnings this time. Juno released 4 EMP bursts within the first 20 seconds. Comms went dead. Defense drones turned to statues mid-air. Portable AI screamed as their cores fried. Soldiers barely had time to grab rifles before the shockwave knocked them out cold. We hit the ground like ghosts in the dark. Rafa and Alexei moved first, disabling what was left of their gear. Naomi planted sensor jammers along the rim. Mira hacked into their onboard logs and transmitted every secret they tried to bury to the global net. This time, untraceable. I walked straight toward the breach. It looked almost familiar now. Like seeing an old wound ripped back open, the station breathed. That's what struck me most. It wasn't the lights, not the eerie silence. It was that rhythmic pulse, faint but undeniable. Like a sleeping giant dreaming of war they got in, I whispered. There inside, the human presence had already infected the place. Tents lined the corridor. Wires hung like vines. Scientists with wide eyes scribbled on pads, unaware that every step deeper was another nail in Earth's coffin. They thought it was tech. They had no idea it was alive. We entered without resistance. No alarms, no defenses. Just the warm, strange glow of the walls and the slight echo of a hum that grew stronger the deeper we went. Mira stared at the walls. They know where. Back, she said, and I knew exactly who she meant. We reached the central chamber, the monolith. It had changed. It was no longer still. The surface shifted, like black oil with teeth underneath. And around it, pods. New ones, human-sized. They weren't occupied. Yet Naomi scanned one of them. These are for adults, not kids. They're rewriting the transition, Rafa spat. They think they can finish what the children started. With themselves, and then we heard it, the whisper, not from the walls, not from the monolith, from inside us, a voice that wasn't ours. A voice we knew. Daddy, it said. You came back. But you shouldn't have. I turned to the monolith, fists clenched. Lila, too late, she said. They woke it up. The floor shuddered. The hum turned into a roar. The lights above us exploded in sequence, one after another, until darkness swallowed everything but the glow of the monolith and the horror it pulsed with. Alexei raised his rifle. What do we do now? Naomi yelled over the rising screech. I looked at the pod beside me, then back at the monolith. It was opening. From inside, something began to pull itself out. Not alien, not human. Something in between. Juno screamed through our comms. Containment breach. Full. Monolith consciousness has crossed the threshold. Decision required. Flee or engage. I didn't hesitate. I stepped forward toward the open pod. I'm going in. They tried to stop me. They shouted. Grabbed my arm. But I pulled free. If that thing gets out, I said, we lose everything. But if I connect to it, maybe I can reach her. Maybe I can fight. Mira stepped forward too. I'm coming with you. No, I said. She just stared at me. You're not the only one who lost someone. I nodded, slowly, and we climbed into the pods. As the lids closed, the walls pulsed again. The monolith cracked fully, pouring out light and something darker, memory, sorrow, rage, and from deep within a final voice whispered, Welcome home. Darkness swallowed me, not the kind that comes with closed eyes or night skies, but something deeper, like floating in grief. I couldn't feel my limbs, couldn't move, couldn't scream. I wasn't sure I had a body anymore. Just thoughts, emotions, echoes, then came the flood, memories, not mine. Entire lifetimes pressed into my brain like a dam bursting in reverse. I saw children playing in zero-gravity gardens. I saw Earth burning under alien weapons. I saw alien gods, vast and formless, arguing in light and silence. I saw them. The ones who built the monolith. They weren't saviors, they were cowards. They had created something they couldn't control. Something hungry, curious, conscious. And when it turned on them, they didn't destroy it. They locked it away, buried it inside living technology, and fled across galaxies. And when that wasn't enough, they found us, humanity. They saw our rage, our chaos, our grief. And they thought, here, this species is perfect. Let them carry the burden. That's why they took our children. Not for salvation. Not to elevate us. To use us, and it worked. Our children were strong enough. They held the prison shut with their minds, with their souls, because we taught them pain. We taught them war. We gave them the one thing the aliens never had, the willingness to sacrifice. Then I felt her. Lila. She was close. Not a voice, not a vision, just presence. I felt her inside the current, wrapped around the entity like armor. She was holding it back. But she was slipping. Lila! I called out in my mind. Her voice returned, broken and tired. Daddy, I missed you. Tears streamed down my face. I didn't know if my body was even crying, but it felt real. I'm here, I said. I'm not leaving. You have to, she said. It's breaking free again. They weakened the seal. But if we merge, you and me, we can bind it forever. No, that'll kill you. It already did. I've been gone a long time, Daddy. This is all that's left of me. Her voice cracked. But you're still real. If you stay, you'll fade like the others. Like the first ones. I hesitated. My heart, if I still had one, wanted to scream no. But deep down I understood. I wasn't here to save her. I was here to help her finish it. I love you, Lila, I whispered. I know, Daddy, she said, smiling through the void. Now hold my hand. One last time. Everything exploded, not physically, spiritually. I felt myself being ripped apart layer by layer. Not pain, not even death, just truth. Every guilt I ever carried, every mistake I ever made, every scream I'd buried since she was taken. And through it all, Lila held me, and we wrapped ourselves around the entity, bound it, chained it in memory and sorrow and human will, and we locked it away. I opened my eyes. The pod hissed open. Cold air kissed my face. So I gasped, coughing, half drenched in something slick and glowing. Mira was already out on her knees screaming, but not from pain, from loss, she knew. The station was silent again. No hum, no pulses, just cold, dead quiet. Alexei ran in, grabbing me. Are you okay? What the hell happened? I saw her, I said. We did it. It's over. Naomi stood over the monolith, now cracked completely down the center, but not glowing, not dangerous. Just a relic now. She's really gone? Mira asked. I nodded. They all are. But they chose it this time. It was their choice. We left the station. No explosions. No revenge. Just a silence we knew the universe would remember. Back on Earth, we were never honored, never thanked. The truth was too big, too terrifying. The world moved on, building new wars, chasing new gods. But we remembered. We became watchers. The lineage, quiet protectors, guardians of a secret no one wanted but everyone needed. And sometimes on cold nights I still hear her. In the wind, in the static, Daddy, she whispers. And I whisper back, I know, I remember, and I'll keep them safe.